Did we do it?
Wait, there's no link to the stream.
There's no link to the thing, Ian.
Hold on. It's coming.
What? Delete the thing.
It'll be there in a minute. Just give it a sec.
All right. Hooray!
Hooray!
Are we live?
Are we live? Did we do
We're
it?
not live.
I think we're live. I think we've done it.
What? That's crazy.
Huzzah.
You think after all this time we'd be better at this? We're not.
We're not. We're really not.
No.
Hello,
I think we
puny
have
humans.
to
It's been 7 days, 2 months since our previous broadcast. Brian, please explain this discrepancy.
Well, welcome everybody. We're gonna let people file in. Obviously, we've got the Super Bowl going on today. But if you're cool, you're here listening to us instead. Because who needs sports ball, huh?
Correctamundo.
Sports. We have RWBY ball.
Yes.
It's better. I don't know how that sport will be played.
What is
Cover
this
guns.
Super Bowl? Is it a big bowl, preferably filled with whipped cream, or fire?
Or fire. Those are the two options here: whipped cream or fire.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and kind of like let people file in here, see what's going on in that regard. But as we're letting people file in, we are of course going to be talking about RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 8, Dark.
Yes.
But as we're letting people file in here, before we get into talking about RWBY, there's an injustice that we need to talk about.
An elephant in the room.
Yeah, it's an elephant in the room. If you're an anime fan, you've probably heard about it. We need to talk about what's going on with The Promised Neverland.
Yes, we do, god damn it.
It is a tragedy.
Can we have a moment of silence, Brian?
I would like a moment of silence for The Promised Neverland.
The season that never was.
All right, everyone, moment of silence. I'm going to sing a traditional song in honor of The Promised Neverland. Na 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 na. That is my prayer.
That's a good
Beautiful.
one. It's got
Beautiful.
some
I
ups
love
and
that
downs.
prayer.
You know.
That is the sacred ancient prayer of the Promised Neverland anime, because they had season 1 right.
I know.
So good.
For anybody who is unaware, who is blissfully ignorant of what has happened with The Promised Neverland. The Promised Neverland, if you didn't know, absolutely great first season, incredible manga. I am a manga reader. Katie is also a manga reader, correct?
Correct.
You
absolutely.
And The Promised Neverland season 2 back in January just recently started airing, and they have made the terrible decision to go anime original.
It never ends well. It just doesn't.
I don't understand, and they wind up skipping I wish I could fully make it known to anime only watchers just how badly they've screwed this up.
It's a tragedy.
Because The Promised Neverland is one of my favorite manga ever.
Same.
And it's such a great story, and to see it just torn apart like this is so it hurts so much. And one of the best, most important arcs in the manga they skip right over.
And one of the best, most important characters they also skip right over. And if they bring him back in some weird way, I'm gonna be angry.
Okay, first of all, back up. What is an anime original, and what is the checkered history of anime originals for people who may or may not be aware of what's happening? Because you just said anime original, but you did not define it or give it context.
Okay. Also, for all the new people filing in, we will talk about RWBY. Don't worry. We have to get this off our chest.
They gotta rant for a bit.
We have to release ourselves.
But yeah, so for anybody who is not inside the anime sphere, most anime are adaptations of either manga, Japanese comic books, or light novels. Japanese books.
Think comic books. Think of our like Marvel and DC-ish comic books.
Yeah.
Is somewhat similar, but not quite.
And yeah, so there's they're adaptations of those types of things usually, and there's always some story that they are following. And of course, you know, things change in adaptations, and usually I am not somebody who is, I mean, there are a lot of manga and light novel readers who will get really upset over any little change in an anime adaptation. I'm not one of those people. I think different mediums require you to handle things in different ways sometimes. I think it's okay to cut certain things. I think it's okay to change things from the original adaptation. This is different.
Yup.
It's not good. They've essentially done is the manga is finished, by the way. So there's no excuse of like they caught up to the manga and they had to go do their own thing. The anime has just decided that it's going to do its own thing with the Promised Neverland story. And just throw out everything, it seems, from the original manga. And apparently the original mangaka, the original manga author, is helping write this scenario. And yeah, this was a huge surprise. Nobody knew they were going to do this.
Yeah.
And everybody's baffled. And yeah, I wish I could adequately describe to people why what they're doing is so bad, because I've seen like anime only watchers being like, oh my god, you manga people, shut up, like just enjoy it, like it's different, whatever. And it's like, my dude, you don't understand. Like, for anybody who has watched My Hero Academia, the best way I can describe it is, imagine if the My Hero anime was just like, hey, so All Might versus All for One? Yeah, we're not gonna do that. Like, that's kind of what's happened.
If you'd like another checkered past example of anime originals, check out the original series for Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
there's a reason.
At the very least,
in fairness,
check out, like, because one thing I want to say there is, with the original Fullmetal Alchemist specifically, it was the way that they ended it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
They had that movie Conquer of Shambhala that was so widely.
What? That movie didn't happen. Shut up.
Yeah, you're right. My bad. That's my mistake. There was an invisible movie that isn't real that totally didn't happen, that happened, and then everyone was upset because it was not real good. And what episode 4 of season 2 did feels like a shift comparable to that, except this time they don't have the excuse of not having enough manga to use to make the show. Instead, what they did was not tell us why or whatever reason, and they're going completely original without, it seems like, much of a reason to. And it feels upsetting to fans because, you know, we had cited earlier when we were talking about it in private that in Attack on Titan there were some like big changes that happened in the anime, but those seemed warranted because fans seemed to agree that, yeah, that art kind of sucks, we could change some of that. But this is such a
widely, and the mangaka also gave a heads up to the fans prior to season 3, basically saying, hey guys, just letting you know, I'm working closely with the anime staff to change some stuff in season 3 because I really wasn't happy with the way this arc went. and
Yeah.
people were like, "Yeah, that's fair. That arc
That's
had some
fair.
problems."
Yeah. So yeah,
That's a
it's just
warning.
kind of a
So.
big ol' heckin' suck, and it just kind of hurts right now because I'm also not one to usually scoff an anime original, and this show though in particular is so close to my heart, and it just felt really tragic because I was really looking forward to seeing some of the best manga I've read in a long time be animated, and yeah, it felt like a betrayal of my weeb heart.
Yeah. And that's like, yeah, and going back to the or not the Attack, going back to the Full Metal Alchemist thing, right? The original Full Metal Alchemist, I've never read any of the manga for Full Metal Alchemist. I first watched the original Full Metal, and then later went and watched Brotherhood. And what I can tell you, at least from my experience, was that watching the original Full Metal Alchemist, even when I knew it went anime original, I was like, okay, this is fine because this seems decently well done, and I'm interested up until the ending. The ending was the thing that really made it utter bullshit. But that being said, though, obviously Brotherhood is just way better.
But yeah, we've given
Yeah.
our grievances
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
that. Maybe we should do
We
some
gotta-
introductions
Yeah.
and
I
get
mean, we
for real.
know
All
it's a
right.
quarter
Talk
past the
about
hour
some
now.
RWBY.
This was kind of where I was going to cut us off at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Get back to what we're here to talk about.
Which is RWBY.
That one.
This little show called RWBY. Oh, by the way, I feel like it's been a little bit, and we've already talked somewhat about other things happening in the anime world, but we should probably introduce ourselves before we get started into RWBY. Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Brian. I am the head of the audio department here at RWBY Productions. I voice Neptune in RWBY Abridged, and I do. I don't know. I've done righty things. I've done lots of different things on this team. Hey, Ian, who are you?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ian. I may or may not be a construct. Wait, that's Forrest.
Yep.
I may or may not have a mechanical voice box that simulates human speech. And I help admin for the server when I am not here on this podcast existing. Let's turn into the actual artificial intelligence of the show. Hi, Forrest. How are you doing?
I'm here on this podcast to hear to talk about RWBY and stuff, and that is what I do on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
Over to you, Katie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Katie. I go by Connie Day on the internet. And yeah, I'm a voice actress. I play Waishni, Cinderfall, Penny, Pella Donuts, and Velvet the Chocolate Rabbit on this lovely little show called RWBY Abridged that we have on this channel. I've done a lot of things on the channel over the years. I've been a writer. I've been a heckin' producer. I guess I haven't really announced it anywhere publicly, but I was a producer behind the scenes for a little bit. And recently I decided I kind of wanted to step down from a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and just focus on what I love to do, which is perform. And yeah, it happened recently in Watch Not. So now Steven is our main boy behind the scenes. He's doing all of the thing is happening right now, all that planning and plotting and whatnot. And I am just here excited to continue recording things, and that's what I'm doing on and off screen. You can also hear me in other places around the internet. Dr. Crafty, I was in the most recent episode of Sword Art Online Abridged from the Something Witty dudes. I'm going to be in some Schmuck Squad stuff. They had made an announcement about their Demon Slayer bridge. I'm going to be in that. And who knows? Oh, actually, yeah, another thing I did with Grimjack, he has a Goblin Slayer thing that he does in his most recent video, not the actual Abridged series, but in a news type of video he was making. I
His
played
Goblin
Cowgirl.
Slayer is a harem anime video.
Yeah, his Goblin Slayer is a harem anime video. I play Cowgirl in that. And yeah, you can probably hear me in other random abridgy things on the internet and also other voice acting things. That's what I do. That's who I am. Hello, hello, hello. Wow.
Hell yeah.
Katie with the professional plug, next to the three of us amateurs.
Fucking got him.
She went hard. She was like, "Here are all the things that I'm doing." See, I also am voicing for the schmucks as well, but I didn't say
You are.
that.
Well, you gotta promote yourself whenever you're.
You missed the opportunity. It's gone now.
I missed it. You're right.
Yeah, I'm sorry you don't know how to promote yourself, Brian
Fuck.
Dab.
Ooh.
You want me to
Shit,
promote you? Because
you're
I will,
right.
because you're so talented and I love you. Fucking got him.
All
Well
right.
played.
So we are just gonna promote ourselves. Hi, I'm gonna promote myself to director of RWBY Abridged.
Oh, shit. I said promote yourself. Don't fucking lie.
Oh.
I mean, I had to go for it. I mean, it's never gonna happen. I wouldn't take the job even if they handed it to me on a silver platter. But don't we have like a show to do? Am I just talking out of my ass?
The latest
do.
RWBY episode.
Yeah, we're talking about
Dark.
RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 8, Dark, which is currently only available for Rooster Teeth First members. So, if you are not a First member, you haven't seen the episode, and you care about spoilers, bye-bye.
Spoiler.
Like, you
Come
get
back
to-
a week from now.
Yeah, you can come back after you've watched the episode because you've watched the only part that's spoiler free now.
Yeah, so
Yep, there
there's
will
your
be spoilers.
spoiler warning.
All
There's
the
your spoiler
spoilers.
warning.
It's like watching the intro for like the Jimmy Kimmel show or whatever before they get into the main show.
So, we open up this episode. We got like Crow and Robin is her name. I wanted to say Christina V.
Oh my god. Fucking yes. I mean, she is a goddess, so however you want to refer to her.
Yes, our Lord and Savior Christina V.
It's true.
But yeah, Crow and Robin, they're like doing some chatty bits while they're in the jails, and then the fucking wall blows up, and then we don't
is
come
that
back
thunder?
to that.
And it wasn't thunder.
It wasn't thunder. No.
Just casual thunder.
Casual
But-
wall exploding thunder, you know.
You know.
But yeah, and that's all we get of that until the end of the episode.
Well, we
Yeah.
do get one. Because there's a crow in the scene. It's Crow
Yeah.
he turns into a bird. He does his bird magic.
Oh, that's right. He does his bird thing. He does his I'm a bird, Ruby.
That
See,
never
see,
fails to crack me up.
I know, right? I thought for a second it was the other bird magician that we know in the show, but then I looked it up on the wiki, and only Crow's has the little head plumes, and his sister's does not. So it's definitely him. His sister didn't randomly show up in Atlas,
Yeah.
which wouldn't have made any sense. But I was like, wait, Raven?
So yeah, and also, after we see this go down, we cut back to the Schnee Manor, and yeah, Penny is out cold.
Yeah.
She
bitch.
like hit the ground at terminal velocity. It's kind of impressive that she's not like in pieces.
Isn't she
Yeah.
always cold though? She's a robot.
Oh.
Shit.
God, she runs warm.
Yeah.
There's an internal combustion engine in there somewhere.
Oh my god.
I also love like Klein tries to fix her up, and like I love him being like, yeah, I don't know what she is, but her anatomy is close enough, I guess. It's just like what?
That's great.
He was like,
Klein is just
yeah,
a
I'll just
robo
stitch her
engineer
up.
now. Canon.
Like,
Yeah, he's
how do you?
like, you're gonna need welding tools.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that was a thing.
And she's bleeding green goop all over the place.
She
which
is.
Can't be good for
Yeah.
her. I can't be good for anybody else.
Yeah, I
either,
feel
right?
like it's
that
probably
looks-
toxic. Like
A little bit.
Ruby and Weiss and all of them, like they're gonna have cancer in 10 years.
Oh my god.
10 years? They're
Well,
already cancer.
That's what's
They're
gonna get
fine.
them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Turns out, Penny, it's not an internal combustion engine. She's got a nuclear reactor.
Yeah, that's what it
Oh my
was.
god.
Yeah. Totally clean solution until it doesn't. Hello, Chernobyl.
Just leaking plutonium all over the place. Don't worry about it.
and I wanna freaking oh god, what's her name? The blue-haired girl.
Uh, Marigold?
May
That's the one.
Marigold.
May,
Yeah.
May
May
Marigold.
Yeah. Um. So she's also headed back to the crater. Also, kind of seems like a futile mission a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you see what was going on out there? There was a giant jellyfish eating the ship.
Yeah, my thought was, why the fuck are you flying through that shit?
Yeah. That
Like,
was
you're next on the
that
menu.
was a choice. That was an active choice.
Like, there's the entree, you're
she's in a little
dessert.
boat.
Like,
she'll probably be fine. She'll slip through the, she'll just like the rebel blockade runner. She'll slip through the blockade. They won't pay attention to her because she's in a little tiny, little ship.
Mm-hmm.
They're going after the big battle cruisers first.
It's true. And then the power goes out.
Yep.
And Mama Schnee, Willow, she shows up, and she has been drinking, of course.
Yep.
And she's like, yo, did you know we got auxiliary power supply? And they were like,
yes,
oh,
just
shit,
like that.
We didn't know that. That's true. That's an exaggeration. She's been drinking a long time. She holds her liquor very well.
She really does.
And yeah, so yeah, they have apparently like they said it was an auxiliary power supply, but the way they were talking about it, it sounded like the Schnees have their own power grid.
Like low-key,
Yeah, kinda.
I believe either one.
Like,
I mean, like backup generators are a thing, but having your own power plant in your backyard is slightly different.
Like one thing I kind
Yeah.
of want to comment on, because we're getting into the meat of this, but this is kind of the beginning of this conversation. When it comes to conversations about privilege, and when it comes to
Mhm.
conversations about the resources that, the extremely wealthy have, there's a few routes you can go. And one thing I really appreciate is what they're showcasing here is that, like with Weiss, for example, it doesn't matter, whether or not she deserves to have access to all the things that she does. Because should the Schnees have that much control? No. But what matters is they do, and it's about what you do with the power and the privilege that you have. And so the fact that the show, like, made a choice here that Whitley and fucking Weiss and them are just immediately their first thought is, oh boy, we have all this stuff that we can use to help people. Oh my gosh, we have these drones. We can
Mhm.
should we have this type of drone all the time? Should we have access to all this? Probably not. But oh my gosh, we can use this power that we have to do so much good right now. Hooray. Like,
Well, I mean, I don't think it goes quite that far, because Weiss says, like, basically, yeah, we've got our own power, like, plant, and she's like, yeah, and apparently that's not unique to the Schnees, like, that's something that just the ultra wealthy in Atlas have.
no, correct.
But
The
like,
ultra-wealthy
but
have
like,
this thing. They have
but
this
that's
privilege.
well. Let me finish. And she says, like, that's it's incredibly unfair, but like, it's gonna come in handy right now. And then it's Whitley that has the idea about all of the cargo ships. Like, they've got all these automated cargo ships. Now, I think, should the Schnees have like their own power plant? Probably not. Should the Schnees have their own cargo ships? Well, yeah, they're a big corporation that needs to sell their product everywhere, so that makes sense for them to have. But the fact that Whitley was the one who said, like, hang on, we have these resources, and we're certainly not selling any dust right now, so let's take the resources that we have to go help the people in the crater, was not only just a really not only really great for just overall commentary on privilege, but I think also a really big character moment for Whitley, where it's like, oh my god, you're not being an asshole right now.
I mean,
it's like the first time.
that came off rather quickly for me. It was just,
Mhm.
whoa, Whitley, you're developing much faster than I expected for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Bravo? Question mark?
I think, Brian, I think we're saying the exact same thing. Like, the way you started that sentence made it sound like you had an opposing argument, but
Oh well, I thought you had said something along the lines of that, like the Shnees shouldn't have all the cargo ships.
or no, I said maybe the Shnees shouldn't have access to some of the things they have. For example, a power plant or maybe cargo ships. Like,
I feel like they should have access to cargo ships. They're a
then
business.
that's fine. Then that's fine. But like the fact that they have all of that stuff and that the kids here, instead of, you know, a usual route of like not even thinking about how you can use your privilege to help
Mhm.
others, yeah, like I said earlier,
Mhm.
their thought is, oh boy, we have all these privileges. We can use it to help others. We might be able to bring power to this. Or, oh boy, we have all these cargo things. We can use them for this. That's a really awesome fucking look on privilege. That was
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
point.
and
Absolutely.
I think it goes without saying, right, that you know, in this season and the previous, well, I guess more so the previous one, Papa Schnee's been sitting on these ships, right? The embargo was the thing last season. They needed some help last season. They could probably have used a bunch of airships with drones to pilot them to, you know,
That's true.
take care of some things in the city down
Yeah,
there.
and that's
He wasn't
yeah.
doing anything with them. So
Exactly.
That's a really good point, right? And that's what kind of one of the reasons that I really loved seeing Whitley do this is because you know that if Papa Schnee were there, if Jacques were there, like he would have been like, "No, I can't send my ships down to the crater. Those ships are expensive. They could get destroyed." And it's like,
Yup.
"Fuck you, asshole."
Like, you
Fu-
think they're not going to get destroyed right now anyway?
Yeah, like
I mean,
at least they can get destroyed helping people, or like maybe think about the fact that I don't know, maybe you have the money to replace those cargo ships, but the lives in the crater can't be replaced.
Exactly. Like, yeah, just really good conversation on fucking privilege and how it's important what you do with that privilege and the resources that you have, and not necessarily about whether or not you should have them in that moment. That's another conversation. But
Mhm.
yeah, and I really liked that direction and the fact that it could be used as a character moment for Whitley as well. Like,
Mhm.
what we get this episode when it comes to Whitley and Mama Schnee and Weiss, like, together, like, this episode made me really happy. Like, I really enjoyed the Schnee stuff that we got this episode.
Yeah, I think the Schnee stuff was pretty good. Um, now, like it's I guess the issue that I have with this episode, which kind of leads into the very next thing that we're going to talk about, which is Blake has this little moment with Ruby where they're getting the power turned back on.
Yeah.
I think we're all
And
gonna have issues here.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, as a standalone thing, I like this scene.
Yeah.
You know, like it's good, like it kind of shows Blake's growth over time, and right, because Blake essentially has this moment where she talks about how she lost hope when she was younger because she used to be super idealistic like Ruby, super optimistic, you know, glass half full kind of person, um but
kept
over
beating her
time,
down.
yeah, like life kind of beat her down. She got cynical, and you know, she kind of like stopped, you know, trying on certain things because she decided it wasn't worth it anymore. But she really admires Ruby's ability to always do something, to feel the need to do something even when she doesn't know what to do. And she
Yeah.
admits to Ruby that she looks up to her for that.
Yeah.
And that's really, really cool. But here's where my issues creep in. um, and because this is something that we've seen the show do on multiple occasions, not just this season, but in previous seasons as well, where it's like, all right, this was a great scene. I really liked this scene. Why did you put this scene here specifically?
Yeah, like, I mean, the biggest complaint I have about it in the grand scheme of things is Could there have been a better setup? Yes. That is
Mhm.
my main critique, and because we've had a consistent issue with that with the show, I tend to not get as upset about it, even though there is, an understandable thing to commentate on there when it comes to writing. But yeah, I think if the biggest complaint that I have is, we could have used a little better setup for that scene, then
Well,
it's
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 not
not
even
it's not
necessarily
groundbreaking.
setup, right? It's like they're in the middle of a mission.
Mhm.
They should be in combat mode, you know,
which
gearing up
plays
for that.
into
And
next happening.
yeah, which of course leads into the next thing happening. And I mean, I guess like yeah, like it's not that I can't buy that this conversation happened there, but from a narrative perspective, it's just like, where did this come from, and why did you choose to do it now of all places? Why not uh earlier in the season or at another lull point where like I don't know, they were hiding out or like there yeah, it's just weird placement. And we've seen kind of weird placement of these kinds of things over the course of it where it's like it kind of feels like the writers are like, "Oh, we want to have this moment between these characters. We want to like develop this character in this way." But that doesn't necessarily really fit into the overarching narrative that they're trying to tell within the season. So they just try to stick it in the best place they can that seems to make the most sense overall, but it's still kind of a stretch to put it there because it's just not really in lockstep with what's happening with the rest of the story.
Yeah.
I can kind of a little bit in defense of the scene. I do kind of get. I think what they were going for is the like, hey, we're in mission mode. We went to this power plant. We turned it on. Now there's like a power restarting thing. There is this sudden lull, and it feels very much like this is something that's been on Blake's mind for a while, and she's been meaning to like tell Ruby ever since at least since their the sort of split, the team split in the garage. Um, where like Yang goes one way and Ruby goes the other, and they like the Ren Nora split thing. Um, it seems like this has maybe been something on her mind that she wanted to say, and just hey, here's a moment. Let me get this off my chest. Now, would that scene have been maybe a little bit better while they were in the room still with Nora and Penny? Probably. But I kind of see where they were going with that.
No, I definitely see where they were going with it. And in fairness to them, like it is somewhat tied to the overarching story because, there's been this ongoing theme of, is Ruby making the right decisions? Is she being a good leader? You know, and
Yeah.
I think, we've even seen Ruby questioning that herself. But yeah, like it just seemingly came out of nowhere, and I would have liked to see that come out of a scene. Yeah, I will see Blake, talking to Ruby about this coming out of a scene where Ruby just made a decision. Some people disagreed with it, and Ruby's really questioning herself on whether or not she's doing the right thing. And
Mhm.
then Blake come in and be like, "Hey, Ruby, this is a trait that I really admire about you."
That
You
Yeah.
it would
know?
have hit a bit harder, I think, if they'd done
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
that
I
way.
think so too.
So yeah, it's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not like this is like a, oh my god, this is terrible writing, how could they, like, this isn't like a huge critique. I will admit that this is somewhat of a nitpick. But yeah, it was a moment that I had watching the episode where I was like, cool. Why are you talking about this now, Blake?
Yeah, for sure.
you know.
And it turns out that maybe they shouldn't have been so distracted, because
A little bit.
guess
Yeah.
who shows up? It's
Smarty Marty.
Smarty
Marty's
Marty.
back.
I just here's where my issue comes up is like, do you guys have no reflexes at all? Really? We're gonna let Ruby get incapacitated again?
Okay, now in fairness to the Ruby getting incapacitated, because I get where you're coming from. Because, yeah, like, Smarty Marty attacks Ruby and Blake. It does not go well.
Nope.
And Ruby gets knocked out. Now,
Again.
Ruby getting incapacitated, I there is this. I will admit that I think it's convenient, but I can buy it to a certain extent because Smarty Marty talks, and I can buy that like catching Ruby off guard. Be like, wait a minute, Grim don't talk, what? And then just fucking smack.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much the same thing that we saw when Smarty Marty absconded with Oscar. And frankly, I have kind of the same problem with the scene as I did with that one,
Mm-hmm.
where there's a whole lot of, oh my god, it's a goopy grim monster. It grows wings. It talks. It's kidnapping one of our friends and flying off in the sky with them. And like, there's a good 10, 15, 20 seconds where it's like nobody budges.
Yeah, and I mean, which is why I kind of defend this scene a little bit more because it happens faster.
It is
Yeah.
faster.
Uh,
And there's fewer people to stand around doing nothing. It's just
Right.
Ruby and Blake, and Ruby's incapacitated, so it's
Yeah.
really just Blake who freezes. But
yeah. Well, I mean, Ruby freezes, which is why she gets taken down.
well,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah. But yeah, like it was a little convenient.
I really want them to for someone to give them an ambush or try and like catch them by surprise. It's like, and it doesn't work. How often has there been like an ambush set that has always gone off? I can remember no instance where that's actually failed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're trying to play up the fear factor of this creepy, goopy monster, and I mean, yeah, it's scary. It's real scary. But again, these kids have seen some combat. You know, they've picked a fight or two,
Mm-hmm.
and their reflexes are probably like, you know, my suspension of disbelief only goes so far.
Yeah. Now, James Bailey says Ruby wasn't caught off guard by that, though, that I recall. She closed her eyes because she was trying to focus on using her silver eyes. The hound pounces on her then. I suppose that's fair, too. That could be a fair reason why.
You know, I didn't think about that, but that's...
Yeah.
Does she... Yeah, that's entirely
I'm more
possible.
than happy to give them that, but I'm also
Mhm.
like, Ruby, you should know better than to just stand behind an enemy at close range and close your eyes. When she does it again later on in the episode, how much distance is between her and Smarty Marty? A fair bit.
Yeah.
A fair bit,
She
yeah.
should
And
know
it's
better
like,
by now.
you've got a scythe and a sniper rifle. Like,
Yeah.
maybe, I know the silver eyes are good, but use the scythe, I don't know, get some distance maybe.
Just like, for the love of
Yeah.
God, please.
Yeah.
So, Weiss is on a call with them, and she goes after them. And Willow drops her booze and runs away, obviously because she needs more booze.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That's obviously
And-
what you do when you're in a moment of terror, is run for more booze.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is a depressant. I mean, that is, you know, this is
Yeah.
her response to everything, granted, but it is certainly
No, yeah, I
a
think it's
response
definitely
to
a
fear.
realistic moment for her,
Mhm.
and I really like the direction that they take it as the episode continues. Like, I really like.
Mhm.
Also, shout out to Caitlin Glass's performance in this episode, because there's like a scream she does that it startled me. Like when they kind of go this like Five Nights at Freddy's route isn't the right word. What's it called? Where you're kind of like a mansion mystery, like we're traveling around the mansion, things are scary, you don't know when the monster's going to appear, like that
Like,
kind of anticipation horror thriller kind of, like
Really-
I think they do a good job at establishing that mood, and I really liked how they handled that.
I
Like,
mean, I
there
guess
were
there
moments
is
where
like
I
a
was
little bit of
scared.
Five Nights at Freddy's because she's like watching
Yeah,
Marty
exactly.
on the camera.
Yeah.
Definitely like a pseudo horror vibe to this episode. I think they're trapped.
Yeah.
You know, the lights go out in
Yeah.
the manor. There's a scary monster going around. It's not quite
And I
as
think they
much
did a
as
really
the
good
apathy
job
episode.
at setting that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Again,
Yeah.
I think the apathy episode was better. I think it like
Yeah,
it was,
this
'cause this
episode
one
didn't
had
really strike me as like trying to do horror.
it had a bit too much action. I think with the
Yeah.
fights, to, like the mix up the apathy episode. Really, they didn't fight them until the very end. It was all horror the whole way through, and horror maybe doesn't work so well if you know interrupt it every now and again for some cool action scenes. So
Yeah,
Well, right, but
I don't
also,
think
I
I
mean,
was
that
like,
wasn't what
saying
they're trying to do.
I don't think I
well,
was saying that the whole episode is a horror. I think there is a
No.
very specific set of moments where there was definitely a horror tone, and I really liked the way that it played out for that
I
little
guess
bit.
I don't know. I guess I never really got a horror vibe from it. I got more of like like a thriller vibe, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Like horror
Um,
thriller.
Yeah.
I feel like this may be a semantic argument here, but
Yeah,
yes.
I think so.
But yeah, so in any case, yeah, so Penny wakes up, um, and she's fighting the hacking. And now this was issue is I can't really say that this was like a problem in the episode, but it is something that gave me pause. That
Yeah.
Penny has the ability to fight the hacking. And I'm not a computer expert,
Yeah.
but I don't know that that's how hacking works.
I will say it did bring up an interesting case though. Like, cause yeah, narratively having what's her name? having Nora be like, it's just a part of you. You don't have to give in to a part of you. That's a really cool sentiment. But on the
Yeah.
realistic sense, if Penny was 100% like all robot, then like but the fact that there is aura and a soul flowing through her, like there's elements of her that aren't robot. I could see if they wanted to make a choice here that it could be fought, I guess, because I mean, I don't know. Like is
Yeah,
like
that
I
was
guess I'm
kind
just
of like,
saying it's not completely unbelievable.
yeah,
Is what I'm
that
saying.
was kind of my like the way I rationalized it was I was like, I guess she's fighting it cuz aura and souls.
That would be my guess. I was kind of like, I expected it just for the hack to just take over at that point.
Yeah.
But I am not purview. I'm not like purview to whatever Penny is made of and how she works. Does that make me
Yeah.
question how that is possible? Yes. Would I love an explanation? Also, yes. Am I likely to get one? No.
That would be you can't explain the magic. That would...
But it is a very interesting direction because I don't think I've seen another show, correct me if I'm wrong, have like a robot girl that can fight the hacking in that specific way. Usually it's like, I mean, I haven't seen too many examples of that, but when it comes to, the hacking thing, usually like they're hacked and maybe they'll like self-destruct or something like, I can at least control this, or,
Mhm.
but the fact that she can kind of push that part of her down because she's not full robot, she's like something percentage robot, is an interesting direction choice, and I did not expect it, and I kind of applaud that.
My first impression was kind of like it's trying.
I don't know that I
I
applaud that, to be
know.
honest, cuz like
Don't know.
there's a certain level where I wish she would have just gotten straight taken over because I feel like fight it, Penny, you know it to be true in your heart is kind of cliche.
It's very.
You think we've done that one before?
I think we've done that before, yes.
Okay. Not all cliches have to be bad if they work, and you can always, change them up in some ways. I don't know.
That's true.
I feel more positive than negative about what happened.
I'm on the wait and see approach. My initial impression was it's like telling you to live with like a virus in your system, but this is Penny and she's built different, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of hard for me to judge on that until I see more.
Again,
so I think we're back to semantics.
She's a soul. I think I think you're right. I think we're back to semantics. She's a soul-powered AI. So I don't know that, like, if you hack a computer, right? I mean, even if you hack a computer, it's not necessarily like you get access to everything. It depends on how deep your hack penetrates. If you get down to like admin level stuff, then yeah, you have complete control of the computer. But some hacks won't make it that far, and you can only have like peripheral control of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And she's an AI. We don't actually have AIs right now.
I mean, look, I will.
That we know of. So
I think
Look,
at this point we're
I
going
will
around
fully
in
admit,
circles.
yes, execution is everything, and I'm willing to wait and see. But I swear to God, if she overcomes this hacking because of the power of friendship or some bullshit,
Brian,
you
you're
know
a
that's
hater.
gonna happen.
You're just a
like,
hater, Brian.
Now that you said, you already know that's how this is gonna. She's gonna overcome the hack with the power of friendship. Maybe we will get like she'll eject the virus on like a flash drive and like throw it away and smash it or something. But
One thing I really want to talk about though with this Penny hack thing is the implication from a piece of dialogue that we get from her.
later.
Yeah.
That dialogue happens later.
When we get there, that's
Yeah.
that's
don't
pretty
remember what
fucked.
that is.
But yeah, so Penny wakes up, she's fighting the hacking. Nora wakes up and helps Penny calm down. Willow reaches for more booze, but then Smarty Marty makes his way inside. And then Willow goes all Five Nights at Freddy's in the security room and helps guide Weiss to Smarty Marty. And then Smarty Marty winds up going after Whitley. Why did I space his name?
It reaching Whitley, Caitlin Glass's scream to her daughter there, just the above you, like that fucking scene made me so tense. Like when Weiss was trying to find it and the way Caitlin did that scream, like I had chills. Like I was genuinely in that moment, like, oh shit, it felt like a jump scare. Like it got me. Like,
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
I guess that scene didn't hit me as hard. Like, it was a great scream, don't get me wrong. I guess that scene didn't hit me as hard because, like, I guess I could feel the jump scare coming.
Well, the thing
And
is,
also, it's Weiss. There are no stakes. She's gonna be fine.
No, I know she's gonna be fine, but it was about how were they gonna introduce the Grim, and I thought it was gonna be like Weiss turns around, there it is, and it jumps on her, but I did not expect Willow to be a part of that scene, and the way that they transitioned from
It was a good
Willow,
transition.
the way they transitioned from Willow doing the scream and then Weiss being like, "What the fuck, mom?" Like, and then she's in the fucking control room, and it's like, oh wow, she actually is trying to help. That was really cool to me, and I really need to give a shout out to that scene because I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. Yeah. So but Smarty Marty goes into Jacques' office and forces Whitley to hide, and then Willow comes in and saves Whitley.
Yeah.
And she's got the same with the Borbatusk. She's got the same summoning powers that
Jacques
that
married
Weiss
into the
does.
family. He's not the provider of the Weiss family.
Yeah, which
we
means
don't
that she
know what
must
his
have,
semblance is.
yeah, which means that she must have killed a Borbatusk at some point in time.
Which means at some point she might have been competent, or maybe Schnee money.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I think it cut out a little there for me. Are you saying you don't know how she had the Borbatusk?
No. I know. I said she must have killed a Borbatusk at some point in time.
Well, that could be a number of things. She could have used like Schnee money to capture one and then killed it herself, or she could have been a huntress at some point. Or
well, I definitely don't think she's a huntress, considering that she doesn't want to fight.
Well, yeah, there is that, but on my best guess is that they use Schnee money to like catch them in captivity for her to. But doesn't it have to be like a challenging enemy for them to stick?
Man, that's really dark. I mean, we don't know much about Willow's past. Maybe there was a time she had to defend herself because it is a hereditary thing. The semblance there, right?
Yeah.
Also, I just need to address Ryan Joseph in the in the chat says, "Why are we calling the Hound Grim Smarty Marty? You are uninitiated, sir."
Welcome to our
Ah.
podcast. That's we have a name for all of the Grimm that are special to us.
Yes, all of the special boss
Hound.
Grim we have given dumb names.
You're welcome.
No. Smart names in this case.
Smart names. Smarty Marty
Yes.
names.
Yes.
Very good and smart
So
names.
so the list is the first one that we named was the
Scary Larry in
the
Volume
Nuclavy, whatever you want to call it. We call him Scary Larry.
Horseman from season
Yeah.
4.
4. Yeah. Then following Scary Larry, we have the Leviathan, which we refer to as Swimmy Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
And then obviously the Hound is Smarty Marty. And then the Whale Grim is Killy Willy.
Killy Will. I did see
Yes.
official Rooster Teeth merch that when I clicked on the episode, they were like, "Hey, you want to buy some shirts?" One of them, apparently, they're going with Monstra, like a female monster, like the whale from Moby Dick. It's a good name. Don't get me wrong. Killy Willy is better.
No, Killy Willy is 100% better.
We
If you're
win
not
the
going
naming
to turn
department.
your giant Grimm into memes, you're not working
Rooster
hard
Teeth
enough.
has nothing on our naming abilities
Yeah.
for names.
Like, do you know that they called the fucking, like, the official name for the wyvern from season 3 is Kevin? I appreciate the effort. But it's no Swimmy Jimmy, all right?
It's no Swimmy
It
Jimmy,
really
no.
isn't.
Of course not.
RT employees, you know our numbers. You know where to call us.
You know where to find us.
Yeah, if you need ideas for monster names, we got you.
Yeah, we got you. So, yes, anyways, welcome to RWBY Talk. We name grim dumb things.
Yes.
So this is Smarty Marty, the Hound.
Yep.
Smarty Marty. Because
Smarty Marty.
talks.
Yes.
Smart.
Yep. So yeah, basically so Willow saves Whitley, right? And but just as they're running out, Whitley is able to hit send on that order for all the cargo ships to go pick people up in the crater, which is great.
It is.
Yep. And then
I
go
just
ahead.
had a thought, actually. I had a thought about where the Borbatusk comes from.
Oh, all right.
Okay, it's maybe a little I was gonna say grim. I can't make that pun, I'm sorry. It's maybe a little dark, but we know that, some of Weiss's powers, I don't know if we know the context of why she was fighting the big knight from like the White Trailer, how she summons her big knight. But I want to say that was like canonically like a fight her dad set up or something.
Yeah, that
as
was
like
set
a
up
training
in one of
thing?
it was set up in one of the like manga things, like anthologies, where I can't remember if it's still considered canon or not, but basically I want to say like Jacques didn't want to let her go to Beacon, and she had to prove herself to go to Beacon. So he was like, "All right, fight this big knight thing," which was it was a fucking
Geist?
A Geist. It was a Geist possessing the suit of armor, and basically said, "Yeah, go beat that, and then if you can do that, then you can go to Beacon." And that's of course how she wound up getting her scar. Because Jacques is just a great dad.
Really the best.
Yeah, but yes, because she won, that's why she was allowed to go to Beacon.
Yeah, my thought is, well, if he's willing to sick a Geist on his daughter,
Oh, really? Shit.
I don't know. I'm just saying,
We've
Jacques
never
a
seen
terrible
Willow
human
pick up
being.
a weapon in her life, though, so we may
We
not
haven't
know
seen
the
much of
context.
Willow
of
at all. I mean,
Yeah. Also,
We don't
Emma
know her
Anderson.
childhood.
M. Anderson says soft canon, i.e., canon until the primary source, the show, says it's not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
All
close
right.
enough
Well, that's my
for
theory.
now.
Yep.
Did that explosion kill Jacques? We don't know, Ryan. We'll get there.
I
Yeah.
hope so. No, it didn't kill him.
He's definitely not
He's
dead.
not dead.
No.
Yeah.
He's gonna be stuck with Robin, and he's gonna be stuck with the birds. You know.
Yep.
Birds. The birds, Ruby.
Stuck with the birds, Weiss. The birds.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so let's
So
see.
they get
where
saved
we're-
by Weiss.
Yeah, so you get saved by Weiss, and then we cut back to Ruby and Blake, who are still fighting the Grimm out in the yard. And Blake is at the end of her rope, and she's like, Ruby, if you can hear me, I need you. We all need you. It's super dramatic. And then Ruby comes in and saves the day. And I gotta say, like, from an acting perspective in this episode, the person that honestly, like, the actor that impressed me the most in this episode was honestly Lindsay Jones.
Oh yeah, she killed it.
She absolutely killed it. I loved the way that she delivered her, like, I heard you.
Yeah.
Like, and her, yeah, like, her, like, thanks, Blake. And, like, all of this stuff, like, everything just was so genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was really, really good. Shout out to Lindsay Jones
Like,
for being awesome.
She had a performance that makes you not even think twice about it because it's
Yeah.
so good. Like, she's such a good protagonist. Like, she's really, I mean, over the years perfected the role to the point where you don't even second guess or think about it. She's just Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yep. I do want to say, on this big, goopy, Baneling Hydralisk looking thing,
Mm-hmm.
this is a new Grimm design. We have not seen green is not really a color I think we've seen on a Grimm before, and this whole acid spitting thing. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong,
that
but
was interesting.
I think no, we've seen Grimm spit acid before.
Wasn't it like purple though? Maybe I'm misremembering.
trying to
Didn't we see some Grimm doing this kind of thing in Volume 7? I feel like we did when they went into the mine.
like did the little centipede Twizzlers have acid powers? Maybe
I think they did. I could be wrong about that.
I don't remember that much green splatter though.
I mean, this
don't
is
remember a
definitely
lot
the
from
most
Volume
green
7
we've seen.
on a whole, so I'd need to go back and rewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I like they're going with like goopy gross bug monster direction with some of these new Grimm, and I gotta say, bring it on. The creepier the better. We need, the Grimm need to be scarier, and I think they're
Mhm.
I think this season has really pushed the scary fact. Like, we got Killy Willy and Smarty Marty and this goopy thing. There's just a lot of goop going on,
Yeah.
and I'm all for it.
Yeah, apparently they can turn
Yeah.
into a geyser now when clumped up in mass.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Grimm
Yeah, I
the River
forgot
of
about
Grimm.
that.
Oh yeah.
Like,
what's
yeah.
that? Oh, that's just the Grimm River.
And then the Grimm River that turns into a fucking geyser that drills into.
Yeah, it's like apparently
Bottom
that's
of
physically
Atlas.
possible when you condense their
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
we're off topic here. Who's next on the chopping block?
Yeah. So the virus finally takes over Penny.
Yeah.
And this is where we get the line that you were talking about, Katie.
Yes, we do.
Her line is, "I must open the vault, then self-terminate."
Oh, that one.
Yep.
That's
some
the one.
fucked shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to serve her purpose and then die.
I mean, convenient. Gives us the stakes.
Yep.
It also kind of nixes one of our theories from early. We had a couple of different theories as to what Salem's plan for Penny was, and maybe that she'd be like a receptacle for maiden powers because she's easier to control than, say, I don't know, Cinder.
Yeah.
It looks like that's not the case.
Yeah, it's looking like
It-
that's not the case. It's
Here's the
true.
thing, though. Watts isn't in on the plan from Salem. He said he programmed her to go to the vault and open it and self-terminate. If
Yeah,
she
I think this is an
self-terminates,
Ironwood thing.
then
That's true. Yeah.
here's the next question,
But
though.
I mean,
Watts did not account for what will happen if or when Penny were to self-terminate.
Well, I mean, but also, I mean, Watts isn't necessarily, I don't believe, or wait a minute. Let me, because he's got, who
Let
is
me just
Watts in contact with again? Is Watts in contact with anybody on
Not at the
Salem's
moment.
team? So
I
he
don't think
doesn't
he's-
he doesn't know what Salem's plan is.
no.
but
I mean, he
I'm
knew what
I'm
her
talking
plan
about
was
the overall
originally.
broad goal of attaining the maidens. His plan is
Right.
flawed in that it doesn't account for what will happen if Penny, when Penny self-terminates, should his plan succeed, because she's got the Winter Maiden powers right now.
I think
Ours will
Watt's
go
motivations
to.
aren't necessarily, I want the maiden powers. I feel like
I-
this is a conversation that, like,
Well,
isn't. Mm,
Well, no, she needs the maiden powers to open the vaults.
Salem does. I'm talking about Watt's
Oh.
motivation right now.
Yeah,
think
I mean,
Watts is
Watts
looking
is
out for
probably
number
like, oh
one.
yeah, just have her open the vault and then her job is done.
Yeah, like I don't think Watts is super committed to like the level Tyrion is to what Salem wants right now. I think Watts is trying
No.
to just play this game and get out alive.
I guess it just
If he
seems
can-
that
if he
it's
can
such
get
a
access to
missed
the staff.
opportunity for him to deliver the maiden by but instead he's having her self-terminate. I don't know.
Yeah,
That was just
it's like it's
my
definitely
thought.
interesting too because Ryan Joseph also brings up a good point. Who would even get Penny's maiden powers? That's a dangerous game having Penny terminate.
Exactly.
It could
It's
be
like,
Ruby.
Yeah.
It could be
I've-
any of the Ruby girls. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, exactly.
yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to come back to is this an
Although-
order
although,
that
hang
Ironwood
on.
gave, or is this an order that Salem gave?
Hang on. No. So there are two separate orders, right? And also, it occurs to me, does Watts even know that Penny has the maiden powers?
Yeah,
I think
don't
he
know.
should by now. If
I
he
don't think he
doesn't, then he's
does.
been remarkably
Think-
kept in the dark.
Which I mean,
Because
fair
Ironwood-
for Salem.
Because Ironwood like beat the shit out of him, and Penny only got the maiden powers in that like big final fight with Cinder at the end of Volume 7. I don't think he knows.
Yeah, he might not.
Does Ironwood know? Ironwood knows.
He has to know.
Ironwood know.
Yeah,
There's
he
no
knows.
way he doesn't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
is that necessarily information that Ironwood would have given to Watts?
Absolutely
That's the question.
not.
Yeah, so
Not if
Watts
he could
probably
help
doesn't
it.
know. So when Watts put the order in, go to the thing and then self-destruct, was that something that Ironwood would have said
No.
to him, or is that a
I
Salem
think
thing?
that's
'Cause
I think that's
not.
him. I think that's him trying to serve Salem, but he hasn't been in contact with Salem.
But
Yeah.
okay,
Is the
she
thing, and
can't
so-
open the vault if she doesn't have them. He has to know she has the maiden powers because she can't open the vault without
that's
them.
true.
Oh,
That
that's true.
is true. So he just made a
That's true.
terrible mistake by giving her the
Yeah.
order of falling self-terminate.
Well, it depends. It depends on if he's because again, I think he's ostensibly working for Ironwood, but this program clearly does Salem's bidding. Not, I mean, Ironwood wouldn't be like, please open the vault and take the staff out, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he wants the staff where it is. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But Salem doesn't. I don't think she cares about the maiden powers, in other than they are keys to get what she really wants, which are the relics.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
as long as the maiden power is there in a person to open the door and get the relic out, okay, great. What happens after that? Who cares?
Yeah, you're right. I'd misremembered something. That would definitely be something that Salem would be wanting, not Ironwood. The self-destruction bit might just be either Salem, being like,
Yeah.
fuck it, after she gets in, I don't really care. I'll track down another maiden power if I need it. Fuck it. Like, whatever. Like, I'd rather just not risk her fighting back. I just want this relic and then her to be gone.
But that's
But
dangerous
then
though,
it
because
is
then the
dangerous.
maiden
Yeah.
powers are sent out into the world, and you don't know who's going to have them, and then
Okay.
that person could become a threat. So
Yeah.
it makes more sense to keep Penny around,
It
hacked,
does.
where you have control over those maiden powers.
Yeah, it does. So
True,
yeah,
but
I wonder what's going
this
on
is
there.
this is Salem. You said where the maiden powers could become a threat. Salem doesn't have threats.
I
There
feel
are
like
no threats to her in her mind. She
I don't
is
know about
all
that.
powerful.
I don't know about that, because I mean there are things that have constantly been thorns in her side. I mean, she went out of her way to make sure that Cinder got the Fall Maiden powers, right? And she's still kept Cinder under her thumb. She didn't off Cinder, right?
The
So
Cinder's useful to her.
right, and Penny could potentially be useful to her as well.
That's true. Well,
And,
and we were
like,
speculating
and this goes
more
back to
useful.
my theory that Penny, in a hacked version of Penny, might be more useful to her than Cinder, considering how much good Cinder has done for her.
Yeah, not a lot.
So here's the
Yeah, so
thing.
this might actually be a situation where we genuinely have to wait because this order does seem not
Yeah,
smart.
because but see, this is why I'm saying I don't think that this is an order direct from Salem, because there's a conflict here, right? Where Penny is saying I need to go open the vault, and Salem is ordering Smarty Marty to go bring Penny back.
And that's because
Yeah.
they're out of
So
touch
what
right
if
now.
this is Watts?
Yeah.
Like, what if Watts is low-key rebelling?
This is a power play, perhaps. He's,
Yeah.
opening the vault for himself, take the staff,
I-
get rid of the evidence. And
I-
now he's got the staff of creation. I mean, what can it create? Who knows?
I don't know if this is a rebellion against Salem. That feels unlikely. What I think it is that Watts is trying to make a power play for Salem's favor, but he doesn't know that Salem has also sent the Hound to get the Winter Maiden powers, which happen to
He
be
wouldn't
on
know.
the same person he's happened to hack right now.
That's
I think
true.
it's just an exceptional miscommunication problem.
That
Because
is
Watts
honestly
has
a
no way
fair
of
guess.
communicating with Salem at this
That's
a
time
fair
without giving
guess.
himself away.
I agree.
So,
I agree. I think
it's
they're
just a
working towards the
snafu.
same aims still, but
Yeah, I think they're working towards the same aims. They don't know that they've miscommunicated.
But
Wait, hold
also,
on. I'm
with
trying to
all
remember
this,
something real quick. That episode where everyone was bowing to Salem and Oscar was like, "You fools!" Like, didn't she get a text from Watts? Who did she get a text from?
did she get a
Did
text?
she get a text from Watts?
Let me see.
You remember what I'm talking about? Because that's when she was
No.
like, "Good news, we've heard from our good friend Watts."
Oh,
He-
right. But that was to Cinder, though, to like help break him out, wasn't it?
yeah, and by that time, Watts had already given the order to Penny. It was already said and done.
Wait, because when Cinder was right there bowing, I don't think Cinder knew about the Watts thing. Cinder wasn't the one that said, "Hey, guess what, guys?" Like, because this was a thing that Salem said out loud to kind of be like, "You idiots! At
Oh,
least we have someone doing something right."
right. No, you're right. I remember this.
So
So,
Watts does have a way to get in contact with Salem.
Trying to
This
find
is what happens when we
scene
go on
now.
break for 2 months.
It's true.
Yeah, it's
And
been
you-
a while.
Yeah, well, we are, as ever, flawed.
Or
Or
is Tyrion in contact with Watts? Someone is in contact with Watts because Watts stole the cell phone, and
He did steal the
fucking
cell phone.
yeah,
and
but
he texted
he
someone.
did. Yeah, he did. But I don't know. I think
Because we can't
okay,
pull
so
it
we
up
have
like right
Watts
now,
used the
we'll
scroll
need to go back to this.
Watts used the
Yeah.
scroll to contact Tyrion in order to inform Salem that he has hacked the Winter Maiden.
Yes. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's it.
So they are in a bit of communication.
A little bit. And so the order is either something Tyrion said Salem wants, or it's Watts doing a power play and being like, "Okay, I've got the Winter Maiden hacked. I'm gonna go get the heckin' thing." But then, yeah, I guess it's weird because that order would contradict the Hound's order.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe this seems to be
What?
Cinder's kind of style as puppet master. Maybe is to like,
Yeah.
you know, send her minions out, maybe with apparently contradictory missions to accomplish, and whoever comes back alive to, and does
Cinder?
what
You
she
said
wants.
Cinder.
Sorry, Salem.
Oh, okay.
This sounds like we need to go back and watch like a couple previous episodes and come back to this.
Yeah, let's move
Perhaps.
forward.
Yeah.
But it's curious.
I-
Like the very
Yeah.
fucked up order.
One
Yeah.
thing to close this off though is it seems like I think we were all pretty much in agreement on this that Penny's gonna die this season because it seems like she's gonna die to me. I don't know about you, but it also seems like oh
Yeah.
yeah, she's gonna die. She is dead. She is a walking corpse. Sorry.
I don't know. I think Pietro's gonna die.
Well, I
And
mean,
to
yeah,
save
well,
Penny.
Penny is going to die, and then Pietro is going to sacrifice himself to give Penny a last shot at life.
Yeah. Like we're not losing.
That's what's
Penny.
going to happen.
Yeah.
And if they kill her a third time, so help me.
I mean, if she dies and comes back, I want her to be called Nickel.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
She's a dime, isn't she?
Um,
A dime of a dame.
I see what you did there.
But yeah, I mean, in fairness though, it does seem like Smarty Marty was actually able to kind of apprehend Penny pretty well, knocked her out. But then Ruby uses her silver laser eyes to fucking blast Smarty Marty.
Does finally get the laser eye blast off. Yep.
And
Yeah.
one of my theories became closer to being true.
Yup.
Oh,
Human experimentation. She's turning people into Grimm.
Yup. Smarty Marty is indeed a person. His face is all
Adonis.
kinds of fucked up, which I'm going to assume is probably why the laser eyes didn't immediately just totally petrify Smarty Marty. Because
He's not full
remember
Grimm.
this. Because he's not full Grimm. Because remember, I mean, Ruby fucking lasered the fucking Swimmy Jimmy, right? And like totally petrified. Granted, did manage to break out of it, but managed to completely petrify, at least for a moment, the full-blown Leviathan, like full-blown Swimmy Jimmy, right? So and Smarty Marty is a lot smaller. So the idea that so I'm beginning to think that Salem is doing this human experimentation as a way of developing Grimm that can combat silver-eyed warriors.
Yeah, and I think someone
that's a good theory.
confirmed that the victim themselves had silver eyes.
Yes. I was about to say that.
Yeah.
He's got silver eyes, or a silver eye.
Yeah.
So we know that Salem has been hunting the silver-eyed warriors down to prevent them stopping her from taking over. Now we might know what she's been doing with them.
Mhm.
Which, of course, brings about everybody's question. If that's the case, what the hell happened to Summer?
I think she's
there's
dead.
so many directions.
I think she's
I
dead.
don't know, man. Now, especially with like Smarty Marty seeming to be a silver-eyed warrior that's been turned into a Grimm.
Yeah, but she also said that he was an experiment, and that makes it feel like it's recent. Which would mean mean one of two things. Either one, she's got these silver-eyed warriors just chained up, crucifix style, so that they can't do anything, so that she can experiment on them, or she started doing this recently, and he is the fruit of her efforts thus far.
Yeah,
And-
honestly, with Summer Rose, it honestly makes a theory that I've had that she left her kids behind because she didn't want it to be known that she had children, and that way Salem wouldn't be able to go after them because she's not affiliated in any way with like Ruby and them, and so that she's still out there maybe wandering, and that she left to protect them.
I mean, she went out on a mission. It's possible that she went out on that mission knowing that she was going to die.
Or not return.
Or not return. But I don't know if it was like a case of her being like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave my family behind."
So that they
Because
don't get
I mean, I will come back and say that there is a reason, I think, why Crow drinks, and I think that Crow knows more about what happened to Summer than he's saying.
Maybe.
Yeah, we had some issues. Like he said, we finally got some stuff out of him last season that seemed to like indicate he didn't know, but Crow's an onion. There's lots of layers to him.
Yeah.
It's likely that we haven't peeled down far enough yet.
So what do you guys think about the theory that Salem is wanting to turn Cinder into what Smarty Marty is?
Oh, I think that's
100%.
definitely what she's doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
I think she's
Yeah.
just got a different variant of what he's got.
Yeah.
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 That's where Cinder is headed.
Yeah, I think that Salem is looking at how successful Smarty Marty has been and been like, man, Cinder's been real useless.
I mean,
Maybe.
until this happened just now, because he got
She
fucking
literally-
wrecked this episode.
Yeah, but she literally put them at odds. She was like, do what I want. I'm going to give you the same mission as the dog. Whoever gets there first wins.
Yep.
Like,
Pretty much.
she put that in no uncertain terms.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Then Whitley and Willow topple a giant suit of armor to crush Smarty Marty. And then Smarty Marty was no more. R.I.P. Smarty Marty.
R.I.P. Smarty Marty.
yep.
Rip the Mart.
I mean, he probably wasn't too happy in his present state. I feel like they did him some favors.
I
little
get
bit
the feeling
there.
he kind of
Yeah.
wanted to die at that point. It's
It was
just
a
lucky for
mercy
him he got
killing.
impaled on that sword on the way down.
Yeah, it was a mercy crushing.
Crushing. Oh, God. I do also, I want to just point out a brief nod. I noticed this because I like Dark Souls. It's a cool game. You should play it. It's hard. They do a lot of Berserk references in that. It's like an inspiration for not. And I haven't read that. I don't
It's
know
good.
anything.
It's brutal, but
really
it's good.
Don't
don't know
watch the
anything about it.
2016 anime.
Don't
Please
watch
don't.
the anime. It's terrible.
Read it first.
But
No, don't watch the 2016 anime. There's more than one anime.
yeah,
Oh,
there's
okay,
an
okay.
older version.
The
that's much
2016
better.
3D remake, don't touch it.
oof, yeah. But there's a clever Berserk reference in this where as Smarty Marty's coming down the stairs, the hound's head sort of closes around his human head as he's like transforming back into it, and that's I think a reference to the main character from Berserk whose armor is like a wolf and it like eats him. I don't know. It's weird. But it's definitely, I can't imagine it's not a reference to that.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, then Cinder saves Watts, and then Atlas soldiers show up, and Cinder's like, bye,
Peace.
and fucking like rocket heals her way out of the place with Watts on her back. Also, can we talk about the dumbass fucking Atlas soldier that thought it was a good idea to fire an RPG indoors?
A little bit. I mean,
Look, man.
to be fair, the building was already pretty like.
No, that's not the point, Katie. Like, that would kill everybody in the room.
Oh,
No,
gotcha.
no. It's not the indoors part. It's indoors at point blank range.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Indoors,
Yeah.
sure, you might be able to get away with it. It's a flying rock. Most places are indoors. It's the
Yeah.
at point blank range that has
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Like, everybody who has ever played Halo knows you don't fire the rocket launcher at point blank range.
Oh no.
Like,
Unless you're trying to rocket jump.
unless you're trying to rocket
Definitely
jump.
wasn't doing.
But that's only for but rocket jumping is for elite gamers only. For
This-
seasoned
Well,
Halo
he
gamers.
thought he was an
course,
elite
this
gamer because
guy-
he was gonna try.
Clearly not.
It didn't work.
Of
Oh my
course.
god.
Uh,
Yeah. So we still, yeah. So
I mean, I
that's
think everybody who's ever played Halo has had that experience where you're like playing on multiplayer and you round a corner and you're aiming for somebody like way far down the map, and then all of a sudden somebody shows up right in front of you in your fucking like heads up display right as you press the trigger, and both of you fucking explode and die.
Yeah.
Or-
Maybe they were
or
being
you misjudged.
super like fucking patriotic, and they were like, we're gonna go down with her. We're gonna take her out for the boss, for the big man, and go down.
Oh yeah, that was definitely Oh, great. Atlas has like suicide rocket guys now. Great.
Totally.
Suicide Rocketeers, how noble of them.
Oh my
How
god.
noble. Nah, he just misjudged. Just like it's like in Halo, where you go to rocket launcher somebody and you misjudge where the cover you're hiding behind is,
Yeah.
and you shoot into the cover.
Yeah.
There was no cover.
Yeah,
He was
we're
on a
like-
knee.
Where the texture is smaller than the actual object.
Yep. Yep.
Yup, I've
Been
done
there.
that.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Well,
Anyway, that's
that's the
the end of it.
episode. Yeah. Anybody
What an
have any
ending.
predictions for the next episode?
I mean, we got some real good Schnee shit there. I predict we're gonna get a nice big Schnee family hug without fucking Papa.
What
Leave him
Papa?
out.
He's never there.
All right.
Heck
All
you,
right, that's
Papa.
true. Winter is still out there searching for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Or sorry,
Yeah.
when I say big Schnee hug, I meant like mama and two babies. I think we're gonna get a hug.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Definitely, yeah. I don't know if Winter's going to be involved, but
No.
they survived an attack on their manor, and they worked together to hold it off. I think, yeah.
I think a Cinder Ruby fight is coming.
Ooh.
I think a Cinder Ruby fight is coming because now she's retrieved Watts, right?
Yep.
Now she needs to go retrieve Penny. Smarty Marty has failed. Smarty Marty is
Yep.
dead.
Yeah.
She's the
coming after
better.
Penny. Yeah. I think Cinder Ruby fight is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I
Where's
just want more fights.
Penny?
I'm bloodthirsty. Feed my.
Penny is
thirst.
still knocked out.
Yeah.
But is she going to stay knocked out? Are we going to get
Unlikely.
more hacked Penny?
Can somebody also explain to me the mechanics of knocking out an AI? How does that work?
Listen, she can
Don't think about it.
fight being
Don't
hacked,
think
but
too
she
hard about it.
can't fight a concussion.
How can she get a concussion? She doesn't have a brain.
Shut up. The power of
I said,
friendship can't
don't
beat
think about it.
concussions.
What do? Immediately bring up a medical term.
I love that the power of friendship can't beat concussions.
It's true, Brian.
No. It'll fight off
Ask-
the hack for you.
Ask fucking Nora.
Oh my god. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But don't you know when you like you're bad at your computer and you kick it and then it like gets a concussion or something?
Oh my god, someone in the chat said they hit the brain chip, which simulates a concussion.
Yes, because that's something Pietro would have incorporated for
Of course.
what reason?
Hey, he wanted the full human experience here.
Yeah.
Concussions and all.
Great, now you're gonna tell me she gets the flu.
Oh my
Yep,
god. She's. Oh my god.
Penny just laid up in bed. She's like, "Fuck! Oh, oh God! I got malware again."
Guys, okay, it's a fucking joke, but like random off tangent. So, if there's any ladies in the chat that were, like raised as baby children in the female variety, like one thing that parents did to us was give us baby dolls and be like, "Oh boy, aren't you excited about motherhood one day?" And it's like, "Oh, these baby dolls pee and like vomit, and isn't that exciting?" And as a fucking like 6-year-old, I was like, "Hell yeah, that's pretty exciting." The commercials were even like, "Isn't this a great thing that you want? Don't you want a baby doll that does all this stuff?" Because
Huh?
you're supposed to get excited about taking care of a baby doll that does human things. So maybe Pietro was like, "Man, I want a daughter that that gets the flu and has concussions.
He
Oh
saw
my
those
God.
commercials
No,
and he bought
it was
into
no
it.
regard. It was no regard for her well-being. He was like, I want the full fatherly experience.
I want the full father experience. I want my daughter to have a concussion, to get a broken heart. I want her to feel for my sake.
Yeah, I want to be that dad that takes care of her and gives her soup when she's sick. And if she's a robot, she's just not going to get sick. So I got to program that in there so I can have that father-daughter bonding moment,
Yeah,
I will give her the anti-malware alphabet soup.
Oh my
I will
my
do.
God.
Wow, we've just turned like Geppetto into the word. I know it's not called
Into
Geppetto.
the worst father ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
this makes
Okay.
Jacques Snee look like halfway decent,
Uh,
and that's saying something.
Yeah, that would be pretty fucked up if Pietro did that. But
Okay,
he
so the
didn't
power
think...
of friendship can't defeat a concussion or hacking, maybe. But can the maiden powers defeat the power of a concussion or hacking?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I'm still out to lunch on the whole power of friendship defeating the hack because I
we'll see.
feel like that's gonna happen.
Well, no, it's not the power of friendship. It's the power of self-love.
Because that's better.
Okay.
Marginally.
All right. What next
Uh,
depressing topic do we have? Oh wait, we're at predictions, aren't we?
We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah,
are.
we're predictions, my boy.
Okay,
your
my
rocks
prediction is Rocks Fall, Willa dies.
Ooh,
Whoa. Not everybody, a specific person. All right, changing it up.
I don't know. It
goodness.
seems like it seems like a character that they could afford to kill off. So let's go on a wild prediction. Willa dies. Why not?
Wait, you think Willow will die?
I just said I made a
Motherfucker,
random
I'll
prediction.
kill you.
They did just characterize her a little bit, which isn't. I mean, she hasn't. See, we haven't gotten her backstory. As soon as we get her backstory, then she's dead.
Yeah.
But until then,
And I'm gonna bet we're gonna get it by the end of this season. Quote me now.
I mean, it would.
No, I
I
think
would
they're
be
gonna let her
surprised.
live so that she can start over with her baby girl.
I think that's gonna be Whitley's job. After she's dead. It's like you don't have to take after your father, Whitley. Also, don't steal my booze. Bury me with it.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like everybody needs to live because, like, all of the Schnee family members are victims of Jacques' abuse.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like they all need to, like, survive that.
Well, I think
Yeah, I
they've
think
been.
narratively it makes sense for them all to live, and even for Jacques to live, so he has to watch his family be happy without him.
Ooh,
Also get
the
the
worst
divorce papers.
punishment.
Jacques should go to prison.
Yes.
He doesn't
You know,
deserve
and
prison.
I
He's
should
going
also
to
point
hell.
out that I feel like it's inappropriate for Jacques to make any arguments about, all of this happened before Atlas fell. So, it's already over and done with. We should just move on, shouldn't we?
Oh my God, Brian, are you doing what I think you're doing?
No, definitely not, Katie. That means nothing else other than what I said it means.
Oh my God, you fucking roasted.
Alright, does anybody else have any predictions? Because I didn't have anything, so I thought I'd go for something crazy. Who else has got something?
I don't know. Predictions. What's gonna happen? This isn't like, we're getting closer to the end of the season. This is the start of the second half. It would seem weird to me to have this big attack on Atlas and have absolutely nobody important die. So to raise the stakes a little bit, I don't know who they're gonna kill off, but
I know who.
Crow's had some serious death flags for a long time.
Yeah, but we haven't spent a whole lot of time focusing on him. I mean, granted, there's still several episodes left in the season, so maybe. But
Okay,
I really feel like I'm gonna be real. I kind of feel like they're gonna take the coward's way out, and it's going to be Penny, and then of course we're gonna get Penny back because Pietro is gonna sacrifice himself. I think
Well,
that's
that's
gonna be the big. I think that's gonna be the big death this season. I think that's gonna be the big death this season. I don't think we're gonna get any other deaths. Maybe Cinder.
No, because Cinder has to.
No, she's got at least one more season of spiraling out of control before she dies, I think.
I don't know. I mean, they
No.
gave us Cinder's backstory already.
It's true.
It's true.
They gave us the backstory, but they also.
It's true that they still haven't shown us how she wound up with Salem, though.
Yeah. But also,
But I feel like that could honestly be something they do this season. Like, I'm in Team Cinder's gonna die.
I don't know. She's
If
got
she dies,
we've had
who's gonna
backstory.
take over
She's
as
got.
like our primary contact for the villains, because that's normally how we interact with Salem's side, is through Cinder and her flops of a plan most of the time. So
The problem is, though, that Cinder is irredeemable. Like, there are other people that I think
Like
are
Emerald.
redeemable, like Emerald
Hazel.
and like Emerald and Mercury and yeah, maybe even Hazel.
And Hazel.
Yeah, but like not Cinder. Like Cinder became
we've
irredeemable
talked
the
about-
moment she killed Pyrrha.
Yeah, like we've talked before about our theories on how Cinder's
Yeah.
gonna go out. So go watch those episodes if you want to hear those.
Yeah.
please let Jean kill her.
Fuck.
Not
Fuck.
Jacques, Jean.
John.
Jean.
I don't.
Yeah.
No,
I
I,
mean,
don't
like,
think that's gonna happen.
I
But
don't think it's
I
gonna
like where
happen.
your
It's
head
gonna
is,
be
my boy.
Cinder's beef has always been with Ruby.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
because like as much as it hurt Jean, like Pyrrha's death and whatnot, like Ruby was
It
the
isn't
one that
about Jean,
saw
yeah.
it happen.
I guess.
Well,
I
they
think,
could be
though,
both
that
of
we're
them. They could team up.
team up would be nice.
That's
I'd
true.
love to see them just like eviscerate her.
Or
Anyway,
at the very
we are in
least, John
the
being
weeds
there
now.
for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are. We should
Yeah.
probably
We are.
start wrapping up.
We should
Yeah,
probably
I
end the
think it's time
episode
to
now.
wrap up. All right.
I know. It's
Well,
gonna be exciting.
yeah, gonna be exciting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will, of course, be back next week at the same time to talk about RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 9, whatever the fuck that episode's title is gonna be. Yeah, and once again, I guess, yeah, we'll go down the list. I'm Brian, and you can follow me on the interwebs at Hubbard Audio. I'm also in the RWBY Discord server. That's where you can find me. Ian, where can they find you?
You can find me adminning for the Crew Productions public Discord server. I keep saying to people, hey, if you're having a problem on the server, my username is Ventress. Just message me and we'll be more than happy to discuss whatever's going on.
Forrest,
By the
where
way,
can they
Forrest,
find
who are
you?
you? Where they can find you?
They can find me here on this podcast next week.
Because
Whoa.
you're only active for a week at a time.
And I apparently I cease to exist in between podcasts. I
Yeah.
just disappear and
You just
then
blink
I'm,
out.
I'm back here again. So
That's kind of how
That's
the
where you can
program
find me.
works.
Katie, where can they find you?
Hello, everybody. You can find me hanging out at the Twitter at Connie Day, KANIDAY official, where you'll see me announce voiceover-y things, and you can hear my voice on places on the internet like Dr. Crafty, Something Witty, and maybe Schmuck Squad soon. And then on Grimjack's channel recently, I did that. Yay! Woo!
Yee.
Hire me.
Alright, people, we'll see you next time on the Super
Thank you.
Bowl. Wait, that's not this show.
Yeah.
that's the other one.
Oh, but you
Who
can
needs
also
the
find me
Super
here
Bowl?
at Krabubby, where I do voices here too. Yay.
Oh yeah, that's important
yeah.
as well. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.